There's dirt on my hand.
Hello YouTube, Boss Rino. Welcome to my channel. So ito, Demons Caught on Camera. Puta, ito na, Demons na tayo. Iniiwasan ko yan. Actually, ang dami ko nakita mga video na Demon talaga yung sinasapian. Iniiwasan ko eh. Natakot. So ito na, Demons Caught on Camera. Ito ay The Darkest Secret. Galing ng boses ito. At ang ganda ng mga video ito. So umpisahan natin, try natin ito bago pa try na iba.
Today, I have managed to find real-life recordings where they were supposedly captured. My name is Leonor Clay,
And this is The Darkest
Secret. Today we present
Siguro ang gandang babae nito.
Demons Caught on Camera. Many of the videos that you are about to see below were sent by my audience. If you know or have similar videos at official Facebook. Number 5. This opening video is of a case that has extremely frightened a young group of people who wanted to spend a pleasant weekend in the middle of nature. They had set up their tents in a wooded area near a stream. The first night, they lit a big bonfire to celebrate and socialize as a group. Although, after 2 in the morning, when everyone was in their tents, they began to hear strange sounds coming from a distance outside. Sounds that they attributed to the fauna of the sector, so they didn't give it much importance, and they went to sleep. The next night, and a few minutes before 3 a.m., one of them who had stayed awake began to hear the same noises as the previous night. This time, he gathered up courage, left his tent, and began to record the surroundings of the area. When seconds later, in front of his eyes, he saw this.
Shit, eto na. May mata, puta.
What would you do if you came across something like this? Well, surely the same thing that this young man did with his friends. Wake everyone up and get out of there as quickly as possible. But the most shocking thing was when later, according to locals, they were told that an old woman lived nearby who performed witchcraft rituals. Dark acts that for some reason functioned as a sort of portal to the underworld, attracting these disturbing demonic entities that were wandering around. Could that be true? Was what this young man recorded a demon? Tell me what you think.
Tingin ko baka bear o yung oso. Ang problema niyan, kung oso yun, mas nakakatakot yun. Tangina, doon talaga mamamatay. Talagang mananakbo ka na, di ba? Piling ko, mas nakakatakot yun. Di ba? Kasi yun talagang totoo. Pag yung oso yan, nako, ayawan na. Totoo talaga yun. Delikado na talaga yung buhay mo, di ba?
Number 4.
Ang tangkad yun, laki. Ay, ng mata yan. Dukuitin mo yung mata. Chik-shik.
Boca Jr. is a loyal subscriber from Argentina. He was in charge of sending me footage that, as he confesses, forms part of one of the most shocking moments of his life. In his email, he comments that at night he went out with a friend to buy at a nearby store. But when they returned, a man with a fearful expression approached them. This person asked them if they had seen an old man with goat legs pass by. At first, they thought he was joking, but after he insisted, and when they noticed the man's terrified face, they decided to visit a friend's house whose security camera faces the street where this being supposedly passed. When reviewing the images, the two were extremely shocked, as this is what they found.
Ito na. Tangina, ibang klase lumakad to ah. Biglang nawala, puta.
Even though the resolution is not good enough, the image would confirm the sayings of that man, since it is possible to distinguish a person whose lower extremities resemble the hind legs of an animal. Can you distinguish it?
Parang
The
kabayo.
witness assures that that old man had bright red eyes that
Parang
stood out
kabayo.
at night, and that he passed by him muttering incomprehensible phrases with a strange tone of voice that froze his blood. Although he cannot prove it, our subscriber believes that that being was a demon that for some reason was present in that place.
Grabe.
Do you think it corresponds to a demonic entity? Let me know what you think.
Nakakatakot talaga. Totoo kasi yung mga ganyan
The
eh.
following corresponds to a series of recordings sent by a subscriber who, for personal reasons,
Paano i-explain yung Paano i-explain yung mga sapi-sapi? Diba yung mga sapi-sapi? Yun, talagang totoo yun.
that she is a high school student at Seaside, and that for some time now both the students and the teaching staff have witnessed incredible manifestations that are presented throughout the day in full view of everyone. Inexplicable occurrences that she sent for us to analyze and see what they could be facing. Pay attention.
Ooh. Woo! Oh, tangina, yawan na. Oh shit, sa kabila pa. Oh, ibang estudyante naman to. Nako, yung nagpapatay ng ilaw. Oh! Tangina, patay ka dyan. Tapos may salamin pa, no? Bukas ulit. Oh! Oh! Dito sa kwartong to talaga. Boom! Putang ina. Wala yan Hindi yan tali. Iyak, tang ina. Parang may nakita akong gumalaw doon. Boom, yung kabilang umandar din, nasa taas na upuan. Tang ina, grabe. Pag ako nagkaroon ako ng school, nagtatayo ako ng school, walang upuan. Nakatayo lahat ng estudyante.
The images obtained by different security cameras speak for themselves. Our subscriber clarifies that these recordings are just a small compilation of what they have had to experience lately. With this evidence, without a doubt, we are in the presence of paranormal events. However, in this particular case, I believe they are not about spiritual entities, since according to some scholars on the subject, the ghosts of deceased people that die suddenly manifest without knowing that they are dead. They continue to live their normal life during the first 2 weeks and then disappear. Everything contrary to what happens here. Because our subscriber says that this situation has been out of control. Inexplicable events where people have even ended up hurt, which would be a clear indication of having the presence of a demon in the school. Shocking
Tingin sa taas,
footage
sa taas,
that
sa taas,
has the
tingin sa
whole
taas,
student
tingin sa
body
taas.
hanging by a
Oh,
thread.
tang ina, grabe.
Number 2.
Number 2 na kagad, ang bilis.
Rebecca Nunez is responsible for sending me a strange clip that would be proof of an open secret that ran throughout the inhabitants of a remote town. In her email, she says that a few years ago, her aunt visited a beautiful rural area to disconnect from the city and spend a few days relaxing. But upon arrival, some farmers warned her about the presence of a strange creature that had been seen prowling many cabins at night. One of them even claimed to have seen this entity up close. He describes it as a human-shaped being, but with a body covered in hair and bright red eyes that would intimidate anyone.
Yan ang
A strange
nakakatakot.
being that wanders the area. So they warned her to not go out at night for any reason. Her aunt, as a believer in these things, took their advice and only went out for
nagpakamatay?
tours during the day. However, she never imagined that a short film she recorded in broad daylight would cooperate with those stories that were spread by word of mouth. Pay attention.
Tang ina. Oh, yun, maliit lang. Parang ang liit lang niya, no?
The locals were completely shocked to see this clip, as they assure that it is a dark demon that has harassed them, spreading terror throughout the community. They say that families have suffered from serious unexplained illnesses. The majority of the farmers are weary, and like never before, entire crops have been lost due to strangely drying out. As expected, Rebecca's aunt took her vehicle and never went back, leaving this disturbing recording as a testimony and a reliable proof that a demon has decided to stay in that place. What really could have happened
Ang
here?
nagpakita sa camera, no?
Could a simple coincidence or confusion cause all of this? Have they done something to expel this nefarious being? Questions that for now have no answers. Number 1.
Grabe mga demon. Ito, matindi to. Number 1 to eh.
We end this video with not one, but two disturbing footage that could not be left out. The first of them corresponds to a video of a woman who began to record her daughter
Ayoko na may bata. Tang ina.
when she seemed to be talking to another person. Thinking that it was a typical imaginary friend, she called her over to ask her who she was talking to, without imagining that later, and when reviewing the recording, they would find something absolutely horrific.
Lorelei, come here. Lorelei, who are you playing with?
Wow!
What are you doing?
May merong anino na pumunta doon sa kabila.
Lorelei, come here.
Yan, no?
Lorelei, who are you playing with? What are you doing?
At that moment, the mother did not notice that strange shadow that crosses the background, realizing it only the next day when she saw the recording. She assures that that day she was alone with her daughter.
Shit.
Could it be a demon instead of an imaginary friend? Clearly, no hypothesis can be ruled out.
Tang ina, totoo nga, no?
The second recording that I will show you below corresponds to the disturbing presence of a being that was captured in a forest by a man while he was taking photographs of nature. A strange entity that, according to him, he had never seen before. Observe.
Shit eh. Di yan.
The most shocking of all was that in that same place, symbols and rag dolls were later found, as if here dark ceremonies and rituals were carried out. Could that creature be the result of those ceremonies? Let me know what you think in the comment box. Because this video has come to an end. My name is Leonor Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.
Gusto ko talaga yung ano niya, outro tsaka intro niya. Tawag doon, yung huli, para siyang usa na nakaganon. Para siyang usa na nakatayo. Pero ba't naman tatayo yung usa na gano'ng katagal? Grabe, nakakatakot. Takot ako sa bata. Ayoko na may ganun. Papalingon tuloy ako dito. So yun, salamat sa panonood. At sa na-request ito para sa ito. Salamat sa panonood at hanggang sa
I came from the mud. There's